Good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy Russell. I live on Water Street.
And I'm Wendy King. I live on Crestview Drive.
And we are here tonight to talk about a project that we've been working on for almost a year and a half that has now successfully been completed. And what I've just handed you is our proclamation that we are announcing we are going to twin with the city of Sandwich, Kent, UK. Actually, Sandwich, Massachusetts was named after Sandwich, Kent, UK. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Humphreys back in 1637 came from Sandwich, Kent, UK, was part of the land grant project back then, and because he acquainted that area with this area, they have a Buzzards Bay, we have a Buzzards Bay, they are on a bay, we're on the Cape Cod Bay. They have a lot of marshes, we have a lot of marshes, trees, rolling hills, etc. He seemed to think that this would be a good name for us to be called Sandwich. It didn't come from the Earl of Sandwich and the fact that we are associated with what you eat as a sandwich. It was associated actually with what the town was. So that's how we became Sandwich. It's taken 375 years to do this because we've never twinned with them before. They've actually twinned with 3 other towns in other parts of Europe, but we kind of think that they're going to have us be special because we're all named Sandwich. So we'll see where that goes. But anyway, on Wednesday, Ralph was kind enough to come, and Taylor White, Wendy, Rose Preventure, myself, and we signed the proclamation, and as we speak, it's winging its way over to Sandwich, Kent, to be signed by their mayor, their town clerk, and the chairman of a committee they call BASH. We have a BASH committee as well. BASH for us stands for Bringing Alive Sandwich History. For them it stands for BASH. Their BASH stands for Bringing Alive Sandwich Heritage. And yes, we did copy it. We were given permission to do so. And of course they were very flattered that we liked their name. So that really started the whole thing about BASH and becoming twin cities. The proclamation was done by Taylor White and their clerk, town clerk. I know it's kind of small, Frank, but the actual one...
I thought I needed new glasses. I guess it's probably a combination of both.
The actual one is 23 by 35 inches.
Okay.
And the graphic design was done by Rose Preventure of Splash Stationers.
Nice.
It is being framed by our sponsor, John Miller of J. Miller Picture Framer in Mashpee. And when it comes back, we hope to make a presentation on June 14th to the Board of Selectmen. And hopefully we'll find a place here in Town Hall that we can put a nail in the wall and hang it up. I know that seems to be a problem. But it's going to be beautifully framed. I think you'll be very proud to hang it here in Town Hall, and I hope it hangs here for many, many years to come. We are also working on a sign that will mention the fact that Sandwich, Massachusetts has a twin sister of Sandwich, Kent, UK, and Paul White, the famous internationally known woodcarver who is here in Sandwich, is doing the sign and sponsoring it also. So we are well along on this project. I would like to introduce, do you have any questions on what I've said?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Frank.
Can we assume that Sandwich, Kent is having a similar meeting tonight to talking about this thing?
They've had quite a few meetings.
I'm just...
Oh, right, but they've had quite a few meetings. They are very excited about doing this with us.
Good.
I think theirs happened 5 hours earlier
Yeah.
tonight, just to be fair with time difference.
Or is it later? I don't know.
Jim?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. I had occasion to visit Sandwich, Kent, 7, 8 years ago. They have kind of the reverse problem of what we have. 1,000 years ago, when they were founded, they were one of the 5 ports that, when France and England were all one country, one of the 5 ports for entry into the England part of that. Now they're probably about 2 miles from the ocean. because their harbor all silted up with sand, so maybe that's where our sand's going, all the way to the other side of the ocean. It's a great little town. I was traveling with my sister, and we spent 2 nights there, and she's a golfer, so the British Open gets played there
Right.
every 7 or 8 years, and she wanted to see what those pot bunkers look like. So I think it's great that we're twinned with our namesake. They've got a history that goes like 3 times as what we do. But
That's true. It's interesting that you mentioned their harbor being silted over, because back in 1900, when the state decided that we all needed to have state seals, and we didn't have time to make one, we once again borrowed something from Sandwich, and we borrowed their seal. We made a few changes to it, but the word on it is safe harbor in Latin. They don't have a harbor anymore, and neither do we.
It's true.
So it's kind of interesting. But let me introduce Wendy King. She has been absolutely instrumental, along with Taylor White, who's on vacation, so he couldn't make it tonight. He apologizes, and he had another engagement to go to, a retiring town clerk. So the two of them have been instrumental in making this project happen. They have worked, Wendy King has worked very hard and long, and she has a good contact at BASH, and let me have her tell you a little bit about that.
Thanks, Cindy. I've did a lot of research to find someone who I thought might be interested, and Sonia, who is the secretary of the BASH in England, was just very enthusiastic and had wonderful ideas, and so we've been writing back and forth for several months, and their group puts on historic events to celebrate the town of Sandwich, England, over the course of a year. And so they were very ready and wanting to be engaged in supporting our 375th year. They have some events planned that will coincide with some of our events. For instance, there's a heritage tea coming up for the 1700s Bash, and they're going to have one on the same day. She described how they're having a large cake with the 375 logo of our bash and also of theirs. So they want to include many ages. They're talking about having e-pals with us. They're talking about having the kids writing letters to our Sandwich students. They want to send us a parcel that has historic information and photos and what they're calling their messages to Massachusetts for many of their local people who are interested. They've had a booth at a fair that has sort of introduced the town of Sandwich to our Sandwich with photos and information. And they just have really have a strong interest in fostering a friendship with us. And it's just been a joy to communicate with her and find out all the wonderful ideas that they have. So we are hoping that this will become a long-lasting friendship.
Nice. Very nice.
One last thing. You told me the story about the Christmas tree and the messages and the tags.
Oh, yes. At Christmas time, they asked members of, I think it was a church group, asked if they would bring something to a Christmas service that would be an ornament that would be for the Sandwich, Massachusetts folks. So that's what they did, and they really have their whole heart in this project and have these small gifts for us. So we will be continuing to think about ways that we can reach out to them through the course of years to come.
Very nice.
And for anybody that is interested in being an email pen pal, so to speak, please go to our website and email info@sandwich375.com and just tell us that you would like a pen pal in Sandwich, and we will try to match you up with somebody. We would need to know your age approximately, whether you're a male or a female, just to make sure that we put like people together. We are also sending them a package. We are sending them our book, Sandwich 375 Years, Photos, Facts, and Fables. One of our posters that Catherine Kleekamp did of Sandwich Village, and we're also sending them a hat that says Sandwich 375 on it, and one of our t-shirts. So they're getting a love package pretty soon from us, and we hope they enjoy it. So does anybody else have any other questions?
Cindy, can you tell us about the next event that's coming up for Sandwich 375?
Okay, our next, well, we have a talk of the town on the 30th, sorry, the 28th, and it's on herb gardening, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the lady. I think it's Carolyn McMurrow that's doing it. It's on our website if you want to really check.
Okay.
But other than that, June 14th is Heritage Day, and this is going to be a very fascinating day. In the morning, it starts off at 9:30, and I would invite anybody, like Jim Pierce, for example, who who can trace their roots back to one of the first 50 families that moved to Sandwich, and probably Patrick Ellis also, to participate in our March of the Descendants. We have been in touch with Bill Imes, who is the president of the Wing family, and he tells us that the Wing alumni get-together that they do every year, they're changing the date to that weekend, and they're telling us we're going to have 300 wings here to March. So I'm going to throw the challenge out to all the rest of the descendants. You need to match the 300 wings. Anyway, once they get down here, we have Congressman Keating coming to give a proclamation. We're hoping that the Board of Selectmen will also give us a proclamation that, Ralph, if you would please read it, that would be nice. And we have another proclamation, 2 more proclamations coming from the State Senate and the State House. We have different historical visitors that will be coming in and just telling us who you are and what you've done. We have Sandwich Souls singing We Love Sandwich, which is our original song, along with some of the chorus from the 5th through 12th graders. We have a 90-piece band that's going to be playing the original composition that was written by the high school students from the Composing Kids program, where they learned how to write an original piece of music. And the town band is going to be playing. So it's going to be a very enjoyable morning. And then after that finishes, we're going up to the high school from 12:30 on for a picnic. And we invite you to check out our website. We have a number of restaurants in town that will make your picnic lunch for you, for a small charge, obviously. And they will, you can go pick up your picnic, go on up to the high school, have a picnic lunch. We're going to have music playing. We're going to have an all-town photograph. The high school is going to actually write out the numbers 375, so we'll place everybody appropriately and have pictures taken. Wally from the Red Sox is coming to join the party. We have jugglers, balloon makers, face painters. We have lots of games planned for the kids and other entertainment. We have a tent made up of authors that you can listen to a story read by the original author and get a book signed. And we have a cupcake competition. And the cupcake competition is for professional, 15 and up, and 14 and under. We have prizes. It costs $10 to sign up, and the monies raised from that will go to the DeCanto Memorial Stadium Fund. We have celebrity judges, and check out our website to see who they are. And then after that, we're going to have a Cape Cod Baseball League baseball game at Sandwich High School. Bourne Braves are playing the Falmouth Commodores to round off the day. And I'm not sure how many people know, but the Cape Cod Baseball League started in Sandwich, so it's really nice for our Heritage Day to bring them back for a game. And I have to thank the Sandwich High School, Alan Hall and Dr. Cantfield and Neil Murphy for all the work they've done to work with the Baseball League to get the fields up and in the condition that the Cape Cod Baseball League likes. So it's a benefit to everybody, and we really appreciate that. One last thing, I'd like to thank the DPW for helping decorate the town. I've heard lots of stories, comments about the new barbershop columns we have in front of Town Hall. But they were wonderful, and if you could see Joey up in the bucket truck putting the banners up at the top, it was quite a sight, but we really appreciate all their help. Thank you very much.
So you have one something?
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment you and your committee. I went, as you know, to the event this weekend, and it was fabulous. Brought my grandson with me, and we stopped at every single stop and learned so much that I really didn't know before, including how to grind corn and so on. And it was beautifully run, and it ended up being a really, really nice day, and we thank you for all your work, because it just was a wonderful event.
Thank you. I have to give all the credit to Bill Daly and his committee. Bill Daly is chairman of the BASH committee, and that was the first one. That was the 1600s. And we've got the 1700s, the 1800s, and the 1900s. The Redcoats are coming, so watch out, from Lexington. We have the Minutemen coming down from Yarmouth, so they won't be fighting. But then for the Civil War, we've got a whole lot of Civil War reenactors coming into town, glass blowers, etc. The 1900s, we have a cavalcade of cars. Dodge McKnight's going to be over at the library teaching kids how to do impressionistic painting that he did. And at 5 to 8 o'clock, we're going to have a USO block party in front of Beth's. Cape Cod Symphony Swing Band is going to be playing along with the Snug Tones that are kind of an Andrews Sisters type group. Free of charge. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wear your poodle skirt or whatever, and get an old uniform. Actually, the Beth's was the original USO block, the USO building back in the 40s.
That was very important to me. That's where my mom and dad met in 1942.
Well, I'm sure we'll see you there then, Jim.
Frank?
I too want to compliment you and the committee. I got down here about, I think it was about 9:30 and stayed for a couple hours. And I was watching the reaction of the people that were there, and you can tell who the visitors were, as well as the residents. Everybody was going ooh and ah, just having a very good time. It was extremely well organized. The folks from Plymouth Plantation were in full, not only costume, but character. The language was down, and it was just a very pleasant and enjoyable time. So kudos to all of you, and all of the volunteers as well, Cindy.
Thank you very much. You good?
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy, Cindy.